Yeah, I am quite positive, to be honest. Yeah, after watching Hull City's performance against Donny, I think if we get a goal...
Quickly, Iorfa into the area, and Sheffield Wednesday score!
We should be easy. It should be...
Easy.
Easy. I've just heard easy.
Traore sets a Bosan Tufan! He's got a hat-trick!
That's it. Cut that one out. We're not live, are we?
Mate, I tell you what'll happen. It'll be getting clipped up for a YouTube short. That as they score their fourth.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Moment in the Sheffield Wednesday defence, and Connolly takes full advantage.
What if we play Bambo, who's the new centre half? He's big as an ox, and he looks like he can handle himself.
Easy.
Is it safe to come out?
I thought you might lie.
Right up there, lad, don't you?
Well, you did say it'd be easy. It was easy, wasn't it, Tom? It was nice and easy, pal. Yeah. What a result, eh? You must be buzzing.
Buzzing. I didn't expect that at all, to be honest. But that's how you play the 4-4-2 system, like with Greaves is obviously inverting, and obviously Coyle going down the right, and then obviously Tufan just come up a couple of moments of brilliance there, and I was fearing the worst when they went 1-0 up, but I think we had the control of the game at that point. It was just only a matter of time before we scored. So
yeah, it was a lot of fun putting that together earlier. I thought I'll have a little mess around here, and especially when you mentioned Bamba, and I was like, don't tell me that was the lad who passed the ball, and it was. I was like, get in. Ash, you were at the game, mate. You must have been wounded, eh?
Yeah, I was, mate. Yeah, yeah. It was not a very good day at the office for anyone in a blue and white shirt. Got to say that. It was pretty embarrassing. I think it'll go as far as that. I said we did go 1-0 up, so it was a well worked goal. Got to say it was well took. But that's about it. That is it. That's all I can honestly. That is it. We scored, and then we scored. Smith scored in the 90-odd minute, which was another consolation. But all areas of the pitch, and it's not often you can say that, but all areas of the pitch we were well. What I said on last week's show is I did watch the Donny highlights, and
yeah.
I don't think our manager must have seen it or anything, because I don't know. It was fucking embarrassing. It was really bad. Like I said, I was positive going into the game all day. Gets to Hull, gets to the pub, a few pints, gets to the ground. Just missed all the bloody rain downfall. Kick off with a team we picked, but after Delgado scored, it was downhill from there for me. Got to say, It was a penalty for me. I don't know what anyone's thoughts are. I know a lot of Owls fans on Twitter and a lot of people. I can see both sides of it, but for me, I thought it was a penalty. He got claret all over, so we did clatter him. And it's worst time to score in it. Absolute 90. I mean, whatever, fifth, 45th and 5.
Fans always do this. I mean, we gave away a penalty, and it was a penalty, and they go, I want a penalty. Come on, man. I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes you have to just try be objective. Of course, there is instances when it isn't a penalty, but yeah, I thought it was. Tom, obviously, I watched the highlights back as I was earlier on again after when I was doing that, and I tell you what, you didn't half play some nice stuff at times in terms of the build up to some of the goals. You know, it was really nice to watch,
especially for two fans. I think it was his hat-trick goal.
Yeah.
Build up play was really good, and that's the sort of football that we have been playing in Rossini, but it's only obviously come to fruition in that game because the first two were dreadful, and because in the first two was playing sort of 4-4-2 and weren't really making any movements. But I think what made us really good there was the fact that it was moving all over the pitch. Like Tufan was up in, he was going on the wing, he was dropping into number 10, making runs in behind, and I think that's what made us difficult to stop. And the fact that there was so much space down Wednesday's left, and Coyle was just exploiting so much, space, and that's how we perform well there. But I think with Blackburn, the weekend, I think it's going to be a much tougher game. So we'll have to sort of see how we do there. But yeah, obviously very buzzing with a 4-2 win.
I thought Tufan, obviously, with hat-trick, obviously he gets things, but the number 2, Coyle, weren't it?
Yeah.
Down there all the time in the world. Every time the ball come up. We played Famewo and Iofa as our left back and right back, who are predominantly centre-backs, and they were really narrow. They were and both, is it Lakilo, number 22? Him and number 2, like I say, Coyle, all the time in the world on the way. It was just every ball diagonal sprayed over to him, and they didn't waste it either. Hardly any wastage. They missed control or anything like that. It was hard to watch. It was. Yeah. And we didn't change it in the second half. Second half, Bannon went off with an injury. Volts came on, and I don't know what the manager is thinking, because obviously Bannon is our more creative player in the middle of the park, but he got to left back so many times to try and spray the ball over and up, and it weren't working. And then he went off at half time, and Volts came on, and he did the same. It must have been the plan. Dropped into left back, trying to spray the ball, and it was hard to watch. It really was. Mm-hmm. I know it's the second game in the league. No points. It's not a great start.
Are you done already, Ash? Yeah, no, you're already.
No, I'm still positive. No, mate, I'm still positive. It was we've had 10 new signings through the door. We've got a new manager, got a new system, and it's the old cliche that it's going to take time. But I mean, like Tom said, that he wasn't too thing of the way they played in the first couple of games, and then that's it. One Saturday afternoon, that's it. It clicks, doesn't it? So hopefully it'll.
I think the key clicking was Greaves' left back there, because was playing Vinagre there before. He was quite attacking, but Greaves is able to sort of join as a third centre back, because that's his natural position, and then that allows Coyle to get far on the right, and obviously you give him extra space, and obviously there's some damage there. But then obviously Tufan, we've not seen that from him a lot. It's only since Rossini's come in that we've started to see the fittest and the best version of Tufan, and that's obviously they just exploded into life, and he's threatened to do that sort of performance a lot of times, but obviously that's his first career hat trick, and he's the best he's ever been now. So hopefully you can carry that form into the upcoming games.
Yeah, he looked really good, mate. Like I say on the highlights, and Louis Coyle, obviously Leeds fans know well as well. So yeah, I mean we could. Is he still playing at right back for you, or is he in midfield, Tom?
Louis Coyle's right back. Sarah last season started the season really well, and then he got an injury, and then Coyle's come in and actually done a decent job. And so Coyle used to be a scapegoat, one of them sort of players. It was a scapegoat, sort of our supporters, and as a whole lad, and people used to always get stuff. But since Rossini's come into fair to him, he's actually played well, and you're going to get with Coyle. You're going to get tackling. He's not necessarily the best on the ball, but he's always going to put in that effort to get up and down. And as a supporter, you can only appreciate that. So
yeah, no, definitely. Kossi, I'll come to you, mate. Obviously, we didn't have Huddersfield representative last week, all busy or hiding, whichever one you like. But we were talking just before we started about the state of all our clubs at the minute. Bar Hull, we're all searching for that win. Obviously, you've got a tough game at the weekend, but you've had a pretty tough start as well, though, with the teams you've come up against. Leicester last weekend. What do you make to playing them and 1-0? What's it been like for Huddersfield?
Yeah, it's frustrating. And even chucking the Carabao Cup defeat at Borough, who were playing again on Saturday. But we played well in all 3 games, to be honest. But individual errors. I sound like an old boring manager, but just killing us as keeper, who's probably one of the keepers in the division. Certainly last season, what they're saying, football, he'd want that back, or in ice hockey, I think they say he wants that back. But yeah, poor goal to concede. And to be fair, we played really well. Again, you need a bit of luck. There was something just before half time, the ball comes, it's easy to score, to be honest with you. It comes to a centre half and he scoops it over the bar. And obviously they were going to have loads of possession. They're a possession team out there, and depends. But I didn't feel like we were going to get overrun, to be honest with you. Then I thought we'd have probably escaped there with a point. But again, just like against Middlesbrough when we had the guy sent up, obviously only the cup game, and against Plymouth as well, some bad defending, it costs you. And I think this division this year, we've said it a few times, haven't we? That you can maybe doubt the quality, but at times, but you get punished. Maybe not as much as the Prem, but yeah. So disappointed, really. Obviously, low expectations from a lot of fans going into the game. Leicester could be the new Burnley of last season, this season, and when you're chucking like Vardy on and Ndidi, like Brighton as subs, and we're bringing on kids and stuff. But yeah, I don't want to get me violin out too much, but that's the weird thing about it. It's, 3 defeats, including a cup game. But yeah, unlike I work obviously in Leeds, a lot of Leeds fans, they're down in the dumps, but it's really weird. We're upbeat. I mean, it's a funny one on Saturday, isn't it? Because like we're playing Middlesbrough, who, what does the table mean at this point? Very little, but obviously they've lost the first 2, and it's kind of a pressure game, I think, a little bit early on for both teams, really. I won't want to come down from there with another defeat, but yeah, it's last season was a slow start as well, and it's been nice one season just to get us off the mark. But yeah, we can't fault. We played well, but they're just the better quality. The mistake again did for us. We just need to cut them out, and maybe we might start getting a few points.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Like Leicester at the minute, like they're literally buying every man and his dog. It looks like they're after Ilias Chair now as well, and they're putting bids in left, right, and centre. It seems a little bit unfair, but yeah, we'll see what it is. Already, I'm in that Championship mentality. They shouldn't be allowed to spend that money in this division, but it's what it is. But yeah, you've had a pretty tough start in terms of the opposition you've come up against. I think Middlesbrough have just lost Akpom as well, hasn't it? So it's going to be interesting to see.
Obviously, going back to his 50 clubs, this season. So
every week he goes back to a club, doesn't he?
Yeah, it was quite funny actually when they were beating us and they were 3-1 up in the cup game and got back. They were seeing Warnock gives away, and he won't biting, but. At the end, when the game finished, and that was what, to be fair, he did give him away. But I think it's almost like a farewell tour. And but yeah, Saturday, an interesting game, really. Yeah, there. But yeah, we've just signed someone hot off the press. Breaking news, guys. I think we've beaten Al Hilal and Paris Saint-Germain to Delano Bergzorg, who's arrived from Mainz. Typical Huddersfield signing, really. Can play in about 5 different positions. I think he's a winger. It's a club selling him as a striker, but I've done a bit of research, and he's more of a winger, really, who can play. It's typical, really. We've not really landed anyone of no, but apparently he's a bit of a hothead and, an unknown. But I suppose a new body in the building on the bench, at some point. But yeah, we always knew it was going to be a tough season. There seems to be some kind of restrictions on the club that no one's really telling us the right lot, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's. But we're not playing bad, and I still think we'll be all right. But you just want to get that win early doors, don't you? You don't want to go through a calendar month with it. We just
definitely,
you gotta be careful because Joe will clip that, and then end of season when you've been relegated, he'll say, "Look what he said, second game."
No, because he's not sitting there and going, "Oh, it's easy, it's easy." That's what you said. You said this is easy.
I didn't. Yeah, I did. All right.
Yeah, exactly. Matt, talking of sending offs, second, like that's 2 in 2 now for you, right? 2 sendings off in 2 games, but still got a point. So happy with that?
Yes and no. I mean, we've now got more apologies from the PGMOL than we have points on the board, which is quite frustrating. Okay. If you've seen the yellow cards, Fred Onyedimna got booked for going into the crowd after he scored. Apparently, that was wrong. Howard and the PGMOL have said he shouldn't have been booked for that. He then waved the imaginary yellow card, which is a booking. We were 2-0 up and cruising. I'll be honest with you. If it was 11v11, we'd have gone on to win 3 or 4-0. Blackburn were absolutely nowhere. We had, other than the first 5 minutes, they had no answer to deal with it, which pressed them a little bit, but I was massively unimpressed with them. There's been a lot of anger and frustration from the Rotherham fans this week. I'm sure if anybody's follows any Rotherham fans on Twitter or Facebook, you'll see the anger. There was that incident, and then there was also an incident where Sammy Smodics kicked the ball away after the whistle and didn't get a second yellow card. That was like 2 minutes after our red card. So it would have been that back 10 each, and then we'd have still been 2-0 up, and we'd have won the game. I'm certain of that. But we were good. We were really, really good. I think, although it's only a point, I said last week that we've got to see a performance. The performance was almost as important as a result, and we were really, really good. There was a load of intensity. People kept the head for the most part. A real step in the right direction. Frustrating, it weren't 3 points, but a massive step in the right direction for performance.
Oh, that's good, mate. Because I know last week you were saying that it's almost like must-win territory already after 2 games. So you're more upbeat now, which is good, mate. Which is good. Right. Well, we'll obviously Leeds rubbish, squads rubbish. Dan James was his best player and he's rubbish. We had Jamie Shackleton at right back. Luke Ayling, legs are gone for me. Siriki Dembele tore him a new one. I think we need bodies all over, to be honest. It's a really bad situation at the minute, which I'm fuming about because we've just dropped out of the Premier League and it shouldn't be like that. So it's really frustrating. But hopefully now these release clauses are done, we'll start to see some incomings. Ampadu always looks good and young Archie Gray always look good. But outside of that, it's not great. Obviously, Joe, this is how bad it is. Joe Rodon came on in the last 5 minutes and got stuck up top because we don't have like a number 9 because Bamford's injured. Rutter's back. Whether he'll play him up there, I'm not sure. But Gelhardt, he just can't do that number 9 role for me. I don't even know what position he is at this point. I'm a bit like, I don't think he's going to fulfill the potential that everyone thought he had when we got him from Wigan. I know he played. Forget the manager now. I like him as well. It's Cook, innit? He played under Cook, I think, at Wigan for a bit and really liked what I've seen. But like I say, he's just not really done anything at Leeds up to this point. A few of them, like Pavard, you'll probably know from his time at Blackburn and Blackpool. These are the sort of players that for me we should have been moving on, and they're having to start because we don't have any numbers. Matt Hjelde, it was not great. Yeah, I know. He's this guy, but you told us on that first episode you don't think he's ready for a team who should be towards the top end. And yeah, he doesn't look great. Sam Byram's now having to start. That's again, it's just shoddy that I liked Sam Byram. Obviously, he was at Leeds before he moved to West Ham. I do rate him, but he's got so many injury issues, and the fact that we're having to bring in frees already, like it, something's not right. But like I say, hopefully it'll change, and now we can bring in somebody.
What's the temperature like in the stadium? Are people going to go there with anger tomorrow, and it could turn if you go down? As people just apathy about?
I would say it's apathy, obviously, because the mad thing is, it's Friday night under the lights, and I seen a tweet this morning from the club saying there's still tickets left. It hasn't been like that for a very long time. It hasn't been like for a very long time. They've been like gold dust. So I don't know if it's sold out since. But yeah, normally Friday night under the any game at Ellen Road, to be fair, is a sellout. But it's apathy, mate, because there's still people at the club that shouldn't be for me. Angus Kinnear, the chief exec, was part of the previous ownership. He's still here. I mean, the trust had a meeting with the club the other day because they want answers as to what's going on with these contract situations. Daniel Farke, I think he said he thinks we're the only club in Western Europe that's ever had these sort of clauses in their contracts, which means like basically when they could either accept a 60% wage reduction or leave on loan. Now, which player is not going to leave on loan? Basically, the control was all in the players' hands. So they were telling the club, yeah, we'll stay. But as soon as the club came in, they were like, no, we want gone.
What's cracked with that note guy? Yeah. Were they on the or was that just a...
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that was an old one or that. But no, apparently he was in Harrogate. He was in Harrogate. So, yeah, he's not been advised well. But again, I have no... Some people go, yeah, he's only 19. He might not be being advised well, but he's his own mind as well. Let's not play around here. He can choose to say to his agents, no, I am going to play. He's digging his heels in. I think I like what Daniel Farke said. Like basically him, Anthony Stera and Helder Costa are not in the dressing room. They're training on their own. They're not part of the squad while this is going on. And to be fair, he did that with Todd Cantwell and Buendia. And eventually they got brought back into the fold and ended up being star turns that season. They got promoted. So he's got form and dealing with this, I guess. So, but I do agree with you, Cossie, if we were to go one down through, an error, or I mean, if it's a quality goal, there's no what you can do. But if it's from shoddy defending, especially from Luke, I'm a massive fan of Luke Aylings. I get called, I call myself an old guard apologist. A lot of people want rid of Cooper, Ayling for a long time, whereas I've always enjoyed them. But his legs are gone, and I think, you know, if it's an error through him or something, it'll just be like, oh, you know, same old, and then you might get. It wouldn't surprise me if you get a few boos, to be honest. It wouldn't surprise me, which shouldn't be happening because we're under new ownership, but because there's still people at the club that were there under the previous ownership. For me, anyway, it's almost as if nothing's changed. Do you know what I mean? So
yes, we're under new owners, but they're kind of there's a lot of people trying to work it out. We've got a guy who doesn't really know English football. We've got a couple of people who's trying to find a way. So they're pleading for patience, and I kind of look obviously just down the motorway at you, and obviously the 49ers are in charge, but like the difference is we've got kind of the new guys in just trying to work it out. You've still got the old guard in, so you can just imagine kind of board meetings and stuff. It's like. You know, it's like, exactly. We should do it this way. No, we should do it that way. It's like, I don't know, mate, you fucked it. Let's see. So it's chaos, mate.
Especially, go on, mate.
Right, at least you ain't got an owner that's been in football, English football, 8 years and still hasn't got a fucking school.
That's a good point.
You thought he'd come round and learn some lessons, but every season there's new things that come out. So, new owners. You can always say you want the owners you've got. You can't always like wish for better ones, but you never know what you're going to get, do you? So we want new owners, but who's going to buy us at the minute? He keeps saying
we got end of the stick with Adrian coming in for Adams because Adams are terrible. Like obviously we've had him for a decade, and then obviously Adrian comes in and changes the whole club around. Like when before him was getting 9,000 fans in, and now we're getting over 20,000. So you know, that's in the space of a year and a half. So like, you know.
It can change like that. Like I was just going to use Birmingham as an example. Obviously, they're under new ownership. I spoke to Brummy Joe before the game and a few Birmingham fans, and the mood was just like, "Oh yeah, we're so excited!" They win the game 1-0 penalty, and I mean, I was having to listen on bloody Brum TV, and the way they celebrated, though, you'd think they were, oh my God, this is a day in the history of Birmingham. But obviously it was because of new ownership. But as a Leeds fan, you're like, all right, you've only just beat Leeds, chill out. But no, that's the thing, and that's what it should have been like at Leeds. But unfortunately, because there's still people there from before, it's not gone as well as we'd have liked. And obviously,
there's no sort of PR boost. You know, it's with Birmingham. They've got Tom Brady. They've been really clever about everything they've done. Where Leeds has just been, we bought the club. That's it.
And they've been pretty quiet as well, and I guess they're choosing to be like that. I mean, there was a puff piece done in the Daily Mail that said it was just brutal, you know, like everyone was like, yeah, what guys you are, and all this sort of stuff. It was a terrible piece, and now it's coming back to bite him. I mean, he did an interview on the official Leeds channel, and he said, contracts are my wheelhouse. This is what I do. I do this thing in my sleep. And then we're not signing anyone. So it's like when you come out giving it all that and then you don't back it up, you just look silly. But
yeah, I've heard that before. You know, when he dressed up, you look silly.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, to be honest, mate, he got the treatment as well. Don't worry about it. I put something together for him. I don't know if do you watch Carl Pilkington? Do you remember Bullshit Man? No? Is anybody? No. Yeah, well, basically, anyway, that's funny. You'll have to check it back. But Leeds play tomorrow. Looking ahead, Leeds play tomorrow against West Brom. Rutter back, Sam Greenwood back, which probably means Shackleton won't play on the right wing. But a Road on full week of training, so hopefully he starts. I think defensively we're all right, bar Luke Ayling, but I think West Brom will beat us, if I'm being totally honest, which is disappointing. 3 games in, I'm already predicting losses, but I think for me, it's we need to get the transfer window out of the way and see where we're at. And if we've got a better squad, then things might change. But at the minute, there's just so much going on at the football club and not enough bodies. So I'm going to say West Brom probably beat Leeds United 2-1 on Friday night. Is anyone who wants to give us a score prediction, some thoughts on tomorrow night's game? Anybody?
I think obviously the Leeds is quite sour at the minute, so it's obviously when you go to a place like Ellen Road, you're sort of banking on that. Like the fans getting on the backs of the team and stuff. West Brom will be going there hoping that's going to happen. Like obviously if Leeds don't make a fast start within 20 minutes, you probably sense the nervousness around the crowd, and then West Brom can build on that. So I think West Brom will go there and probably win 1-0.
Corbyn will be fired up for it when he want to put in a bit of a show, whether it was snubbed for the job or whatever. Who knows what the truth was on that? But yeah, it's like with him, lots of possession, always not the most exciting. I can see it being 0-0 tomorrow. I don't think it's a game I'm listening to watch it, but yeah, I think it could be a draw in a blank. So it'll be about 4-4 now. But yeah, 0-0 in Norwich Southampton again.
I'll take that, mate. I'll take that Norwich Southampton. But yeah, it's quite interesting, the Carlos thing, because a lot of Leeds fans would have took him straight away. I was one of them. I would have took him, but it seemed like he weren't even considered really, because West Brom didn't have any sort of like they came out and said no one's approached us. So I was a bit strange that he didn't get an interview, especially when they were close to giving Patrick Vieira the job, who I just don't rate at all. So yeah, like you say, there might be something in that where he goes, you know what, I'll show these for not interviewing me. So you're probably right, Cossie, to be fair. But 0-0 for you. Ash, score prediction?
I'm going to go for a 1-1. I know West Brom, what they've done, lost and won against Swansea, didn't they, at the weekend, which is a good result, actually, I've got to say. I take everything, like I said, Joe, I take everything you say about Leeds' situation. It's great to see, I've got to say. So, you know. But I am going to...
It'll turn round, mate. It'll turn round, don't worry. I think.
Yeah. 1-1 for me. I think I don't think it'll be a classic Friday nights. But yeah, well, give you a point.
Yeah. Someone said that it won't be 0-0. We haven't kept a clean sheet in months. Yeah, I was listening to the Square Ball the other day, and a lad called Rob on there said the last time we had a clean sheet was my birthday against, I think it was Forest, and they said, when was your birthday? And he went 6 months ago. So that's how long it's been since we had a clean sheet. We have a shocking defence. Yeah, so come on then. Matt, what's yours, mate?
Same as Ash, 1-1. I can't see either keeping a clean sheet. It could be. I don't think it'll be a classic, but get the ball rolling, get up another point at home, and stay unbeaten at home. I think we're key. Try and build a bit of momentum at home is where it needs to start in it.
Yeah, for sure, and hopefully we do. Like I say, it'd be a real positive if we did. But I just can't see results turning. Although I'm more positive now than I was a couple of days ago with these release clauses ending. I just still think on the pitch we don't quite have enough yet. So yeah, that's why I've gone for a West Brom win. Right, let's do Blackburn Hull then. Tom, thoughts on this? Obviously, Blackburn, we're getting stuffed by the sounds of it on the weekend before the red card. Hughes now on the upward trajectory. Only one of us who's got 3 points thus far. How are you feeling, mate? Confident?
Yeah, well, obviously it's funny how football can change within the space of weeks. I've gone from last week thinking fearing the worst after losing to Doncaster and Norwich, and now I'm sort of on a high thinking, look, we could have a good season, but that's football. But yeah, we're going to the game obviously with confidence after seeing that performance against Sheffield Wednesday. But the question with us is, like, as fans really, is like, does the 4-4-2 work away from home? Because we've seen against Norwich how we've sort of got bossed off the park there, and we're sort of thinking as fans, should we sort of be playing a bit more defensive away from home, sort of sitting back and counter-attacking instead of trying to take the game to them? But I think with obviously the case of Blackburn is that, you know, they're coming off a poor performance against Rotherham by the sounds of it. They've not really impressed that much this season. So I think we can take the game to them and sort of cause them problems. And, you know, we're on the high. We've just signed Scott Swan on loan, which is a fantastic signing. We chased him last summer. We had a bidding. He was close to signing. I think our owner had met him in person and stuff like that. And then I think he chose to go with Vincent Kompany at Burnley. And, you know, when he got his chance there, which was rare, he sort of impressed for them. And I think Burnley fans were sad to see him go and are sort of hoping that they replace him, really, because towards the end, he obviously played quite a big part. So I'm hoping that he's going to be in the squad coming off the bench. But yeah, I'm pretty confident ahead of it. And if you look at the betting odds as well, we're 3-1 to beat Blackburn. Like, we're always sort of very overpriced. I don't know why, but we're always overpriced.
That's worth a fiver, surely, isn't it? That's worth a fiver, that.
Pretty good odds. But yeah, I think, confidence is sort of the word that I'd say going into this game. But usually when I'm confident, it sort of comes back to bite me. But yeah, I'm hoping that it in the case this time.
Right. Yeah, because I was listening to actually the second tier earlier on, and they were saying that Swansea were favourites over Coventry, so that might be my double. That I've just wrote it down. That might Coventry Hull double might be decent. That we'll have to wait and see.
Is that because Heyman's left for Sheffield United?
Potentially, it could be, couldn't it? But yeah, I think that might be my double, mate. And if we win some money, I might chuck you a quid or something, Tom. But in terms of a score prediction, mate, what you thinking?
I'm thinking 2-1 to Hull.
2-1 to Hull. Yeah. Going for top 6, yeah.
Oh, well, if we get 4 or 5 more players, then perhaps.
Yeah, nice. Cossey, what do you think? Blackburn Hull, mate.
Yeah, mate. I'm just rummaging around for a bit of prep. I've left it in the last minute. So, what about this for a tease headline? New arrivals have been revealed at Blackburn, which will give a boost to home fans at Ewood Park. So, click on it. Venue partner Sodexo Live has announced a fresh lineup for this season for fans in hospitality with a series of dishes inspired by the cuisine of Northern England. Like shit, that was my pre-match prep. So, yeah, if you're in hospitality at Ewood Park Saturday, mate, you're going to get fish and chips from pies from, I think we'll go there and win. I can't believe it's 3-1 like that. Not a betting man, but yeah, it's...
3-1, yeah. I looked at that. I'm not surprised because we're always overpriced for some reason. The bookies hate us, but it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
No, it's not, is it?
I don't think you'll lose, which proper sit on the fence, but no, I'm going same as you, 2-1.
Nice. I like it.
Knackered now, mate.
Yeah, Matt, you've seen Blackburn more recently than any of us. So are you going with the other lads and backing Hull for this one? Well, we can't hear you, mate. You're muted.
There we go. Sorry.
There we go.
Yeah, I'll go with them too. I would 2-0 though. Severely unimpressed with Blackburn. I think if you take the game to them, I think they'll really struggle. They had 0 until they got to 11 men. They had 0 attacking threat, and they scored by a deflected goal. The first one. From that game, I don't see what they offer. And that's only one game, but I don't see what they offer. I think if you put them under pressure, I think it'd be relatively comfortable.
I think the last time we won there was in 2016 in the league, and that was 2-0. We beat them in the FA Cup, so hopefully 2-0 again. It's been a while.
Oh, you've put the spanner in the works there, then, and with that in mind, mate, you've now swung me Blackburn. I'll go against what you are doing now, especially with that stat since 2016. So I'm going to go 2-1 Blackburn, mate. 2-1 Blackburn. Get some points on the board. I need some. What say you, Ash?
Like I said, I can only judge on what we've seen. Hull last week.
Yeah.
Really impressed with Hull. And what Matt said about Blackburn, I'm going to go for a 1-0 Hull away from home. I can only go with what I've seen and obviously what Matt said. Like I say, 1-0 Hull.
Nice. Okay, I've noted them down. Let's do Middlesbrough, Huddersfield then. Cossey obviously got beat by them in the cup. Was that at the Riverside as well, or
no? It was at our place, mate. But
right.
They prices were low, but they filled their end, which were quite impressive on that as well with Borough. But so but obviously, big news for Wiapum disappearing as well. But I think they've got a couple of guys coming in and that as well. But I always think that when you've lost in a playoff semi-final or a final the season before and that as well, I just think sometimes it can be that hangover. I know Luton kind of proved against it last season by going straight up, and they were up there from the start. But obviously, Borough's fans, I love Borough's fans, but honestly, when they come like Huddersfield, you can always have a good crack, a good drink with them, and they're very honest in that as well. But I think I expect them, to turn the corner pretty soon. But you know what? I think we might get a job there. I think it'd be interesting to see how Warnock goes. We always go man marking even at home games and stuff like that as well. So I don't think it's going to be like cavalier approach, but yeah, I think we've got enough to try to hurt them really in that as well. And I think their fans are going to come in the ground, obviously wary of what Warnock can do. And yeah, I'd obviously nothing had surprised me on Saturday, any of the 3 results, but I think we might get a draw or 1 apiece.
Do you know what, mate? On this, when you were talking about you can have a drink together and that, it's probably over your universal hatred of Leeds United, isn't it? I bet you chat over.
Bloody hell, Joe! There'd been no room in that pub. It'd be everyone.
Exactly. No, but genuinely, when I moved up from Halifax up here, I lived in Teesside for a little bit first, and they were like dirty Leeds, and I genuinely didn't know that they hated us. Genuinely, and I'm like, oh, we're not bothered about you. Oh, don't lie, man. You hate us. No, genuinely. I don't. We don't. Like, but yeah, they can't stand us in Middlesbrough. Honestly, they can't stand us. I remember being a pub. It was called the White Swan, but they used to call it the Mucky Duck because that's how rough it was. And I was playing pool and I had a Leeds shirt on and I got loads of stick. I had to leave. I was like, oh shit.
Here's my thing, like Yorkshire cricket used to play there in Borough, because obviously that was long time, 70s when it changed back to Teesside and what have you, but it's it's I can't remember what you want to say because I've got all on here. I don't know, I just don't think
I get it. To be honest, I get loads of comments saying, where's Middlesbrough? And I'm like, I don't really class them as Yorkshire.
They've covered them in Yorkshire Post Middlesbrough. I always think it's a bit odd what's in there.
Yeah, I don't know. They don't know where they're at, Middlesbrough fans. They're either North East Derby or a Yorkshire Derby. They don't know what's going on, do they? But to be honest, mate, because of the Warnock effect, and Borough, for me, haven't started well at all. There seems to be issues there. I don't know if it's because they've lost players. Obviously, Archer was there previously as well. So I'm actually going to back a Huddersfield 1-0 win in this, Cossie. I think. I do. I think the Warnock effect, man, will come in and be like, you know what, I'm going to put it right up yours. And it'll piss them off. So, and I've got a lot of Borough supporting mates. So I hope. Do I hope you win? I'm not too sure about that, but I think you will win. I'm going to go for a 1-0 Huddersfield win. You went for 1 apiece. Tom, what do you think on this one?
I don't think it'll be a low scoring affair. I think 0-0. I don't know. I think obviously Huddersfield are quite good defensively. They'll go there, and Warnock's obviously streetwise. He knows that obviously they can't obviously take the game to them, but they'll sit back. And I think Borough are obviously lacking in the final third now. Obviously losing Akpom, and they need to obviously bring in a striker. So I can see it being 0-0.
Yeah, probably wouldn't be surprised at that. Just on Middlesbrough, do you think is it too early to say really that they're going to push for the top 6? Because I think a lot of people had them up there, didn't they? And they haven't started well. I know we're only 2 games in, but
last year when we played them in correspondence fixture, were incredible. We were like I think 20th or something. They were like 20th, and there's 17 games gone. And look at that, they're like this storms. There's so much time to get it right in there, and that's well. But chatting to some of their fans like after the game the other week, and that's well, they expect to be pushing for top 2. But I suppose expectations big in it. I don't feel it's like. I think they're going to be up there, but it's like 9th, 10th. I think it's going to be a proper battle in it to get in there. But I expect them to be up there, but they've got to get that. When you lose goals like they are, it's big pressure.
It's a thing, isn't it?
It's not just one, is it? Not just Akpom. It's like it's Archer as well. Like there's 2 huge misses. It's not just one. You've got to replace both almost.
I was just going to say that it's all right getting 10 million plus for a striker that scored 20 odd goals, replacing them and getting them up to firing speed when you need them. It's pretty impossible. So they're on got a bit of a tough job, haven't they? So
yeah, for sure. I think we looked at Archer, but it sounds like he's going to get a loan to the Prem, either Sheffield United or Luton, I think. So yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah, honestly, doesn't it? Yeah, we're going to swear, but I'm sick of it now. It's just like because the long benches now, they're just going to be on there and like play 20 minutes. Wouldn't you want to just play more and get minutes? I don't know where the game's going to Saudi and all this 9 on the bench.
I don't like it.
Just want to play, man.
Yeah, I don't see. It's the same with the Gus Hamer one. I get he wants to play in the Premier League, but he's going to a club that, for me, are going to come straight back down in Sheffield United just due to the mismanagement. Obviously, they've lost Sanderberg and Dai has gone to France, so it's like I don't get that move. He might as well have stayed at Coventry.
He was so blind that went from us that. Where is he now?
Yeah,
exactly. Massive, mate. He'll just go on loan,
Yeah, it's fair. But I mean, that's another one that Leeds fans would love, to be fair. Luis O'Brien on loan.
Leeds. I think Leeds have been linked with Lewis O'Brien for like a couple of years, like with him.
We have. Yeah. I mean, Radrazani won't pay the money for him. I think it was only about 10 million or something. I'm not too sure. It wasn't much.
Only 10 million, Joe. Yeah.
No, but when we, I suppose, I hear you. To be honest, give me one more season in this division and that'll look like bloody millions. Wow, I'll be like, oh, what? 10 million? Who's spending that much? Mad. Ash, give us a score prediction for this one then.
What I said, like Akpom, your focal point up front, losing him. For as much as I don't like Warnock, I respect his he knows what he's doing, and he's been around a few years. I'm gonna go 0-0. I'm gonna go 0-0. I know it's boring and thing, but I can't see either side scoring. I just can't with obviously Huddersfield's lack of goals and Middlesbrough's obviously they've just lost their striker, and it's going to take them something to replace him. So I'm going to go 0-0.
Yeah, someone's just mentioned Ryan Giles as well. Obviously, Ryan Giles has gone to Luton, and so that's a big loss for Middlesbrough as well. Matt, what have you got? What are your thoughts on this one, pal?
For exact same reasons as you, Joe, I'm going to go 1-0. The Warnock factor's massive. I think he's still very unhappy about how it ended at Middlesbrough, probably as well. I think I left a sour note. I'd love to get one over money. It would be typical Warnock.
Let's be honest, man. Warnock wanted that job for years. Whenever he could, he'd go, "Oh, that Steve Gibson is a good chairman. He's been wanting that Borough job for years, man." That's all he ever said. And when he got it, he ballsed it up. But yeah, I mean, he is a good chairman, to be fair. But even still, it was like every time he got a chance, "Oh, a good chairman. I like what they do there." But no one's gone for a Borough win there. All draws and 2 Huddersfield wins, so you must be buzzing with that. Costa, you'll probably lose now based on that, but it is what it is.
Guaranteed, isn't it? Don't get the got to play that next week when they're scoring the 6 and Ravanelli's putting shirt over his head, mate.
Love that. Right, Wednesday. Let's talk about it, Ash. It's not looking great, is it? You've got Preston at home. Confident, obviously. Last time you were at home, Southampton. But what are your thoughts going in? Are you saying it's going to be as easy this week, or are you going to be a little bit more reserved? You're on mute, pal. Oh, he's done it up.
You can't clip that one, can you? You can't clip that one. What can I say? The unbeaten, drawing a win, Preston. Good win against Sunderland. We've got to be confident. We've got to be positive. We've said it's two games in, but out of those 2 games, we were well outplayed on the Friday night against Southampton, and possession stats of 22%, 27.5% against Hull. So we haven't even managed 50% possession in 2 games combined. So we're back at Hillsborough Saturday afternoon. We've got some key players back. George Byers is coming back out of injury. He come on in the second half against Hull. Did the assist for Smith's goal. So he's injury prone, but when he plays, he's one of the players that Wednesday actually really took to. So he's going to come back in. Bannon's carrying a knock as well, so he got pulled obviously at half time. We've signed some really exciting youngsters. So I'd like to see him get some minutes. I'd like to see what Muniz wants to implement. He's really got to try and get it. And I hope the players actually listen, take it on board, because it's going to be at the minute, it's looking like a hard season. I want to be positive. I am usually positive for my faults as well, which I've just seen in the last 45 minutes. It's going to be hard. It is going to be hard. I think I'm going to go 1-1 draw. I think we're going to get a point on the board in the league, and then build from there. Try and get some momentum, some green shoots of how the new manager wants to play with this team. Because, like I said, we've had 10 people through the door now. We needed new players. We've got them, and some of the names that people have never heard of, but it always happens, doesn't it, with a new manager and his contacts and scouts around Europe. So Paris Saint-Germain player, AC Milan player, Monaco player. I mean, all sounds good, doesn't it? I mean, if you put that down, it's fantastic, the scouting network that's brought them in, but needs to get on the grass, needs to pass the ball around, needs to get some points on. So yeah, I'm going to go 1-0.
Well, if they have a debut like your other man that you told us to watch out for, Bamba, like last week when he put that nice assist through for their 4th, then... So
I'm thinking that we're in Equay. I'm sure that...
Was it?
I'm sure it was.
Oh, was it? Have I got the wrong... No, it was number 5. I checked.
Was it? Oh, well...
Yeah, I hope, anyway. Maybe I'm wrong. You'll have to check for me. Maybe you were right, but
I wouldn't have known anyway. I was on the bloody train home by that time.
Left Hull sharpish. Come on then. So you went 1-1, yeah?
Yeah, 1-1. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, well. What did I say? Something like the 17th minute and 80 minutes. I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say 1-1.
1-1. There we go. Matt, what are your thoughts? Wednesday, Preston.
I would very tempted to go similar 1-1, but you look at, and I know a few Wednesday fans being in Rotherham, obviously, and they're so negative, they're so down about certainly the whole game. And Hills was one of them places. If it could turn toxic, if Preston get an early goal and the performances and the possession's not there, it's not Southampton, it's Preston this time, who are a good team, but you don't expect to be dominated. If it could turn, so I'm going to go defeat. I'm going to go 2-0 to Preston because I think they've had a good start, and just because if early goal, it will turn horrible. I'm sure Ash will tell you how Hillsborough can turn.
We said at the first game against Southampton, we thought they were virtually a Premier League team coming down, so we couldn't take anything from it. And Saturday would have been the first real test of a Championship team against Hull, and it didn't go very well. Preston have been in the Championship for a fair while now, 12th last season, I think, the finish. So that so this will be another couple of games of proper Championship football, and just hope we improve 1,000,000% from Saturday.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, innit? You need to improve because, like you say, you went 1-0 up at Hull and then obviously capitulated. So, needs to turn around. I'm going to back you for a 1-0 win, Ash, to be honest. I think at home, Southampton, you might as well write it off. First game, it was tough. It was always going to be tough. Since then, they've lost James Ward-Prowse, etc. They're not going to be the same team, although they're still looking good. So I think you had it tough that night. I think, at home, I'm gonna back you for a 1-0 win. Cossie, what do you say? Wednesday, Preston?
Yeah, interesting game. Just looking earlier on today, I think Preston sold 1,600 tickets, which at Wednesday's price is a good effort. So they'll probably bring a couple of fans, make a bit of noise. But last year they were really good away from home with Preston. I was impressed with them, and they've got a lot of experience as well. I think Will Keane, leading line, being around a bit. Robbie Brady, I think he's fit again as well. But yeah, obviously got Dwayne Holmes from our place on that as well. They're an awkward team to play. I never like playing Preston. I like Ryan Lowe, done a good job, and I think they're going to win 1-0.
Nice one, mate. Clearly done your research on that one. Right, okay, Tom, what are you saying, mate?
I think obviously Wednesday they're on a bit of a downer. I think it's going to get a bit worse now. Preston are going to go there, win 2-1. 2-1,
right, okay. Costa, you said 1-0, right?
1-0 North End, sorry, mate.
Yeah, no, it was me. I was just checking. Right, Matt, finishing up with you, mate. I would argue probably you've got the toughest test of the weekend. I think going to the Stadium of Light, it's not an easy place to go. They've not started great though, have they either? Are you just hoping for a game where you don't get a red card first and foremost? That'd be something, right?
Maybe a step forward, keeping 11 men on pitch for 90 minutes this time would be great. I think their starts is to kill them. Their transfer business has been bringing the youth players. Bellingham's come in, a couple of youth players from the continent, but they are seriously lacking a striker. Now, whether they can bring somebody in between now and Saturday, I hope they don't, because if they sit with no striker, then they're gonna struggle again. We beat them at our place end of last season 2-1 on their good run towards the end of the season. So there's no reason to go there scared. I'm hoping we can sort of take advantage of that really, really poor start. If we play like we did for the first 50 minutes up until the red card, we've got every chance it will to come away from something there. I don't know how we'll play, to be honest with you, because against Stoke, we sort of sat off a little bit and it didn't work, and that was the first away game, whereas Blackburn were a bit more proactive and it worked. So I'd like to see a bit more action from us. Well, with that on your dim, obviously the yellow card can't be 2 yellow cards, so that can't be overturned, even though it's been confirmed it was wrong. So he's out. So that's a blow, because he was brilliant. He was really, really good. A few injuries coming back, maybe a couple of signs as well coming in before the weekend potentially. But I will back us. I've backed us to 2-1 towards, just because their poor starts filled me with a bit of confidence. I might be being a bit too eager, to be honest, after last week's performance. But I'm staying positive.
Yeah. I'm going to back Sunderland just with them being at home. and needing to get a result on the board. I know they haven't had a great start, but I think they'll beat you, mate. I'm gonna go 2-0, mate. I'm sorry, pal, but I'm gonna go 2-0 Sunderland. Posse, let's get a score prediction off you, mate.
Yeah, interesting one. I think they're linked with Tom Cannon. I think you have been as well. But
we have. Yeah,
it sounds like it's off to Preston, which is good, ambitious kind of loan signing for them and that as well. But yeah, again, similar to what I was saying earlier on about when you're losing the playoffs and that as well. I always kind of wondered how you were going to be next season. I think it's a good opportunity for Rotherham to get a job there on Saturday and frustrate them. But yeah, I think Lyndon Gooch is back from them as well. I know he's kind of a key player for them with a lot of energy. But yeah, no, I think Millers will come back with something. I think we won a piece. A lot of draws from me this weekend.
Right. Playing it safe, sat on the fence. Tom?
Yeah, obviously with Rotherham, I think they're always strong at home. I think away that they struggle. I think it's because obviously they struggle to sort of deal with their team's attacks, and I think in terms of the attacking as well, like they don't really know whether to sit back or take the game to the team. So I think with that and big crowd behind them, I'm just going to go 1-0 Sunderland.
No, Sunderland, okay. Nice one, mate. I will put these into a little league table soon enough. They're just all on bits of paper around my room at the minute. But I will sort it out.
Podcast, George.
Yeah, you have to go to a Lancashire pod, mate. That's what it is.
Fleetwood Town podcast.
Exactly. Yeah. Wednesday then. Come on, Ash. What are your thoughts on this one, Sunderland Rotherham?
I'm going to go for a Sunderland win. 2-0. They're part of an exclusive club at the minute down at the bottom with us, Huddersfield and Middlesbrough on 0 points. So I think this could be the week for them to get some points on the board. Like you said, they've had an awful start. Rotherham I know you let slip 2 goals because of 10 men as well, and you've said, Matt, that if you'd had 11 men, you'd have been confident of seeing that out. But a funny one, Sunderland, because they always come across as the big team, and I think they're going to do well. But they just had a good season last season, and I would have put them up there. But something at the minute, 2 games in, I know has not clicked. It's not right for them. I don't know if they're missing players with injury or what it is. But I'm gonna take it that on Saturday is going to be the week to get the first points on the board and win 2-0. Sorry, Matt.
I have to.
But you know my predictions have been shit. 4-0 Rotherham incoming, innit?
Yeah. Is that Ross Stewart still injured? Just the guy who plays up top, right? He's their guy, isn't he?
He's brilliant when he's fit. He's so good.
Yeah. I think that's what knocked them off, because I think Gelhardt was supposed to come in to support him, and he ended up having to lead the line because he got injured, didn't he, at the back end of the season? So might have been different for Sunderland if he'd have stayed fit. But right, that's score predictions in. Someone's just said there's less than 100 likes on this video, folks, and there are about 300 and odd people watching. So if you haven't already, please do smash a like on the video. And if you're watching on the rerun, because I know a lot of you do, please smash a like on the video and make sure you support each of these fantastic channels as well. See if I can remember them off the top of my head. We've got 2 Hullenbach, we've got He Takes That Chance, we've got New York Talk, and we've got the Wednesday Week.
That's it. Yep.
Man, I'm getting good at this, man. I'm getting good at this. They haven't even got the names tonight either, so that's impressive on me as well. So I'm doing better. Lads, anything you want to share? Is there anything coming up from your channels that someone might want to watch? Any interviews, anything like that?
I'll go first. Not that we haven't really announced this yet, or anything, but we've got a live chat with Lee Bullen, our promotion winning captain, coming up, who's now the manager of Ayr United as well, up in Scotland. He's doing great things up there. So yeah, we've got him coming on our show on Monday night. So that's going to be a good laugh. It always is when we have ex-players on. We like doing that. So that'll be on YouTube. Other than that, the usual stuff every week. Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's good though. That you can get ex-players on, and that'll be a good watch. What time is that, mate?
It'll be 8:00 Monday evening. Yeah, so 8 p.m. on YouTube. Yeah, cheers, Joe. Yeah, that'll be good laugh. Always good to hear from ex-players. Yeah.
course it is, yeah. That's why I like podcasts like Under the Cosh and all that sort of stuff. I love them just to hear some of the stories, man, in the dressing room. It's great. I can see the links. What is
on that? Dean Windass was good. He had some right good stories.
Yeah, they always do. I tell you what, because I know you had that Kieran Maguire on, right, Tom, from the Price of Football. Oh, I've DM'd him about 4 times. He's ignored me every time. You need to speak. You need to get your guy to speak to him, man. I'm dying to speak to him, but he's just hide me.
I think I was the one who was replying to your messages. So
needs to sort it out.
We had him on a few years ago when I only come up with the 10-year season ticket, and it was like we had his thoughts on that, and yeah, good knowledge, and always listen to him on his Price of Football. Pretty good.
Well, seems to like all other clubs in Yorkshire. Maybe he's a Leeds in like everybody else is. That's what it must be. Because he's not responded to me once. Ant says, I'll have a word. Thank you, Ant. Have a word for me, mate, because that'd be great. Cossy, anything at your end?
Yeah, we're interviewing the next player on Monday. I don't think I'm going to reveal who it is, but it's someone from the 90s, baby. So I think it'll go down well with a certain generation of the fan base. But yeah, we just need a win to lift spirits, because we started our podcast that second season in the Premier League when I think we won 2-3 games and we lost it. Just ground up. It's horrible when you just speak about defeats every week. So, you was not to lose this weekend, so come on, town.
I get it, mate. When I first started doing this was the first season under Bielsa. Well, the back end of Heckingbottom's reign. That's when I started doing it, and then we had Bielsa, and then that season it was just like wow. And it weren't until last year that I proper started to get dogs in Puma. I was going, get Jesse out, man. He's doing, and everyone was going, give him time. And it were like, bloody hell, this, because everyone was just in love with football under Bielsa. No one could do no wrong. But then, yeah, as soon as Jesse came in, it just went downhill from there. But it is what it is. I feel your pain. Yeah, and Matt, have you got anything lined up? Any ex-players? Seems like everybody's got ex-players on.
Well, I feel the pressure now to find something to come on. No, nothing special planned, just the usual preview review. If you want to watch 3 blokes complain about a referee for half an hour, you can watch his last episode where Bobby Madley got it good. But no, other than that, just it's fun.
Looks like we've all got bad luck. Look, Ant says we started ours with Grant McCann and we ended up getting 6 points from 60. I don't think it's worse than that. Tom, is there anything coming up on to Hull and back?
Just the usual. Now we've moved our preview days to a Sunday now, so it's fresh. The game's fresh in our memory, and we're not, obviously, if it was on a Saturday, we'd still be sort of either pissed off or after the game. We'll move it to a Sunday, so it's fresh in our mind, because usually on a Thursday you've slept 5 days, you sort of forget what your thoughts were. But yeah, apart from that, the ball's rolling with the website, so we're doing sort of content on there. We've got a lad that's covering the under 23s, so he goes to the games and does reports on them, because the club don't really, apart from match reports, you don't really get much else out of the under 23s. So hopefully we can sort of some gems there. And then we're also doing match reports. We've got a lad doing match reports on the game as well. Yeah, obviously the first two. So getting a ball running with the content on the site and improving it. So yeah, that's
good, man. Good. That's the name of the game, innit? Listen, everybody in the chat, please do go and check out these respective channels and podcasts. All the links are in the description, and we'll be back next week, hopefully, when all of us have got a win. Because at the minute, it's thin on the ground for wins amongst this group. So yeah, we need a bit of positivity. So hopefully it happens. But I'll be back at 9 o'clock with the rest of the crew, looking ahead to West Brom. So make sure you join us for that, and we'll see you in a bit.